Come in, sit down. We need to talk. Your father's told me about the magazines that he found up under your bed. I will not have that kind of filth in this house. I think it's disgusting. What? No, I'm doing the Vortexes. This is the Vortexes video. Oh, whoops. Come in, sit down. We need to talk. And we need to talk about the Hoover Vortex. Now, I've got a series of videos coming up where we're going to look in detail at two particular Hoover Vortex cleaners. We've got one which is the V2000, and then we also have the V2001. I thought it would be quite interesting to take a look at the two machines side by side and compare the differences between actually two quite early Vortexes from 1999. Now, before we do that, I actually want to focus this episode on the Hoover triple vortex system itself. So that's the topic of today's video. Okay, so here we have, in all its dubious glory, dubious should be underlined and put in bold because it's dubious, a original Hoover Vortex V2000. Now, as I said earlier, I'm going to do like a proper video on this cleaner, because if there's any Hoover that deserves a video all to itself, it's this cleaner. This is quite an early one, actually. It's unusual to find them in such good shape. This isn't the one that I got in the big vac haul that I got from Richie. That machine has since been scrapped because it turns out that actually it wasn't worth doing up. It was in a real mess. I've saved a lot of the parts from it, and one of the parts is what I want to show you now. So up here is the Hoover triple vortex system. And it says it here, look, triple vortex system. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. The light may be reflecting off, but yes, that's the heart of the cleaner, and it resides in this section here. It's not too difficult to get to. If I turn this machine around, you can't see all of it because obviously we're quite limited to how much we can see here. But if you take the handle off and the cover for the flex winder mechanism, take those off, there's actually only 4 screws, only 4, where you can take off this back panel here, and then you can actually get to the triple vortex system itself. So you can see it and you can take it out and you can look at it, which is quite cool. Now, obviously I'm not going to take it out of this cleaner because this cleaner is in exceptionally good nick. And as I say, we will come back to this at a later date, but for now I'm just going to put it down on the floor without breaking it, because they're starting to get quite fragile now. So he's going to sit there, and what I have to show you is the actual triple vortex system that came out of the machine that I scrapped. Now, that machine was manufactured in the 34th week of 1999, and it had around it this sort of soundproof deadening foam. I've never seen this. I've taken apart a few Vortex machines, never seen the foam in them. It's weird. I know obviously you're saying to me, well, that's not much foam, is it? Well, really? You sure? You ready? How about that? So that is the triple vortex unit that came out of the machine that I scrapped. I haven't cleaned this up or anything. I just thought I'd just leave it as it comes, so you can see it in all. Sorry, I got interrupted there by my phone going off. How rude! Terrible. What was I saying? Yeah. Okay. So the triple vortex system in all of its glory. So, I mean, basically, this is the Dyson style of dual cyclonic method of moving the air extremely quickly and separating the dirt into 2 chambers. the main dust collection pot has an outer and an inner section to it, very much like what Dyson had. And you can see now, when you see it like this, you kind of think to yourself, how did Hoover ever think they were going to get away with this? Calling it the triple vortex system, so like a triple cyclonic system. There's a lot of S's there, it's very, very hard to say. Yeah, it's not really. I mean, you can kind of see where the air moves in three paths. I do have some documentation. I've got original leaflet brochure for the Vortex, the V2000 Vortex. I'm going to go and get it, and we'll have a quick look at it now here on the table, because it's quite interesting to see what Hoover actually say about this system. So let me go and grab it, bring you down, and we'll have a close look at it. Here we have the original Hoover Vortex leaflet / booklet that Hoover produced back in 1999. No date codes on it, which is a shame, but never mind. We know it's from 99. It has to be. So, what lies did we get in here? The new Hoover Vortex. The latest technology, the only cleaner that gives you no bags, no filter replacement, no problems. How they had the gall to say no problems is just unflippin' believable. The latest technology in the bagless market. Typical bagless cleaner, £140 in filters. The new Hoover Vortex with its patented, double-starred, patent applied for, triple vortex system is the only bagless cleaner which requires no filter replacement, giving a lifetime saving of £140 based on lifetime usage of a typical cleaner in the bagless market on buying replacement filters! With no filter replacement and no bags, it's no surprise the result is no problems. No problems indeed. Okay. Right. Here we go. The culmination of experience. The culmination of experience, innovation, and technology. In producing the most advanced vacuum cleaner on the market, Hoover has integrated the latest technology from the oil industry. A big problem that engineers faced in the stormy North Sea was how to efficiently separate crude oil from gas. You imagine this thing separating oil and gas. Can't even separate air and dust. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Okay, Vortex, the principle. And I really do like this nice X-ray of the cleaner, showing very, very few metal parts. Very few metal parts. The solution used the Vortex principle, the origins of which have been further developed by Hoover and miniaturized for vacuum cleaner dirt separation, creating a major breakthrough in vacuum cleaner technology. Oh, you can just smell the nonsense, can't you? Right, here we go. Right. Okay, right, so this is what we were trying to get to. Yeah. So I've been trying to explain how the triple vortex works, and I really should have looked at this first, because this would have been a massive help. So, triple vortex, how it works. Stage one cleans. Stage one cleans, okay, large dirt. Yep, so you've got stage one, comes in, whizzes round, goes to the outside. Yep. Stage two, cleaner, minute dust. So, yes, you've got the two cyclones, two vortexes running concurrently. And then stage three is the cleanest for microscopic particles. How they can say microscopic particles when you take the motors out of these and they are covered in dust. In stage one, the air and dirt mixture is drawn into the vortex chamber. Scraps of litter and most of the dirt are spun out down the sides of the waste container. The air then passes through a screen and up into the second stage, the in-the-loop vortex chamber. Here the airspeed increases dramatically to swirl out the dust. The dusty air is then pulled into the third stage, a high efficient vortex which spins the air clean with the dust falling into the waste container. Does this sound like a dual cyclone to you at all? Anything here sort of resemble, I don't know, a bagless cyclonic idea, maybe? You know, spinning the dirt around, high speed air to separate. I mean, any clues? I mean, you know, I can't think of anything. You know, I mean, surely there's nothing here you could be sued over. Surely not. The technological step forward. Oh, here we go. Unlike the leading cyclonic cleaners on the market, where air and dirt are circulated through only 2 stages once, the Hoover Vortex takes cyclonic cleaning one step forward. Air is circulated through 3 vortex stages, and any dirty air is recirculated back through stages 2 and 3, only allowing clean air to exit. The continuous flow of air is so powerful that it spins at 300 g-force, more than 100 times the acceleration of a rocket. I smell BS. Here, oh, look at this. This is a nice picture of the vortex. This is nice. Look, there we go. I actually had this on my wall when I lived in Swindon. I used to live in a bedsit, and I actually had this up on the wall so I could see it. Not just this, a load of other stuff that related to vacuum cleaners. It's a nice leaflet, this. I will say they did do a good job on this. Then it just goes into like some of the features of the Vortex itself. Some of its bits and pieces. You've got the tools and the hose and everything. Then we've got a letter there. So this letter was from Hoover when they were doing the promotion. So you used to buy a Vortex and you'd get a free wet and dry cleaner. So what we've got here, we've got this one. I'm not sure which is the earliest one. I think this is the early one. We're delighted that you recently chose to buy the new Hoover Vortex vacuum cleaner. Pleased to send you your free. Oh no, sorry, no, that's the first one. That's the second one. Yeah. So so we got these letters to say, thank you for your application for a free wet and dry cleaner. Unfortunately, we've been inundated with 3 requests. And we don't know what we're doing because we're Hoover, and we'll send it to you as soon as possible. Okay, brilliant. Let's see, 24th of May, 2000. Then when the wet and dry cleaner turned up, we actually got this. If actually you can see there where the fold is, this was the label. That's an old address. I don't mind showing that on camera. That's years and years out of date. And this is the one that says, yeah, here you go. Here's your free Hoover. Now shut up. And here as well, I have the original receipt from when I bought a Vortex. So this was a V2001 that I bought. I can't remember what that was. I can't remember if it was the grey one or if it's the red one or whatever it was. Actually, at 250, it was probably the red one, which we're going to have a video on soon. So yeah, that was the 28th of April 2000. So that was over 20 years ago. Amazing. It's nice to have this paperwork because I can put it with the Vortex machine and pretend that's the one I bought. And obviously it's not. That's me as well. Look, there we go. That's when I took my Vortex into the office in my power suit and my heels. So yeah, that was a great day. And that's it. There we go. So that's the Vortex leaflet. So we've had a look at that. Now let's go and have a closer look at the triple Vortex unit itself and see if we can talk through it properly. Well, there we go. That was an interesting overview, interesting insight into see what Hoover were actually marketing this system as. No mention of dual cyclones, of course. So let's actually take a look at this now. We've been sat here rambling for ages with it. So I'm just trying to think what's the best way to do it. So let's take this off first. We can take that out like so. And this is the first time I've actually looked at this. So immediately we can see we have a blockage. So there's a blockage. Lovely. It's all dirty and manky as well. So, okay. This is the, obviously the bent end, the machine bent end where the hose, the flexible hose, attaches to the cleaner. And this end piece here, this side piece, looks really big. It's quite bulbous, but when you look inside, it's only a really small little pipe. There's a small pipe in there with a right angle turn onto it. Now that pipe itself connects to this piece here. So this little piece of plastic with this blockage on it that's going to get filthy. Ugh, yuck. That is manky. So we have this bit now, and this kind of fits here in the side of the cyclone unit. And I'm going to call it a cyclone unit because that is exactly what it is. I'm not sure how that goes in now, actually. I think it must go that way. Oh yeah, there we go. So it fits in thus. So you get a round aperture into a square aperture, and that's what goes into the Vortex system. So now we will remove its clothing and we'll do a sexy reveal. Now this sound baffling, as I may have mentioned earlier, I've never seen this before. This is a new one on me, and there's a lot of it. So I'm just going to lay it out here on the table so you can see it. Let me bring it in a bit so it's better in focus. So we've got those bits like so. And we have more foam up here, more foam down here, and more foam here. So it's a lot of foam. Now, I do understand why they did this, because this is actually quite loud. When the air is whizzing through it and whirling round and going up and down and up and down, it makes a hell of a noise. It's not the quietest thing in the world. Now, I think later on, they didn't care. Hoover didn't care how loud it was, because they knew it was flipping awful anyway. So they just left it. They're like, ugh, who cares if it's loud? It doesn't work anyway. So they didn't bother to put it in. So it's quite interesting to see all this. As I say, first time I've ever seen it. But there we go. So obviously an early machine. So now I can rotate this, and you can see it is an absolute masterpiece. It's really quite something. I might bring the camera down actually and just do a rotational view of it, because it just goes all over the place. You're thinking to yourself, what is going on here? You can kind of see like the triple system. They weren't lying on that front. There are 3 layers to it. Oh, I don't know really. Maybe there's 5 actually. It could be 5, you know, because if you think you've got 3 in this piece, 1, 2, 3. I suppose technically the outer section is still this bit, but then you have the inner section as well. So maybe it's 4, but I suppose the quadruple vortex system doesn't sound quite as good as the triple vortex system. If you just take this piece, then yeah, okay, that's the triple vortex system. It's quite cool seeing it like this actually. It's not often that I've done this. In fact, I think this is probably the first time I've ever taken one out and actually had a really good look at it. So I guess really now I should try and talk you through how it works. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure myself. I am actually going to bring you down closer now, so we need to look at this closer. Being over there is not ideal, so come on down, let's take a look at this. This is the 3rd attempt to try and talk you through how this thing works. I really should have read the leaflet first, because that has actually solved the mystery for me as to what was going on here. Previously I was trying to talk you through how the air moved through the stages of the vortex unit in a sequential motion. But what that booklet has said is that actually there's 3 distinct areas, and area number 2 is kind of like what's the word? It's kind of like a continuous flow around it. the air doesn't just pass through it once, it passes through it multiple times, supposedly. And I think that's a key thing to say. So here's the hole where the dirty air goes in. So we go in here, right, lovely, super. Then we have the shroud, okay? So we can take the shroud off, take that off, and as you can see, it's really dirty in here. So vortex number 1 is this bit. Round we go here, flinging all the big dirt, all the large stuff into the outside of the collection bin. Happy days, super duper. And we go up then. You can see, hopefully I'm holding that the right, yep. We go up to the second stage. So when we go up to the second stage, so this bit here is the second stage of the vortex system. Now this is apparently, according to Hoover, a recirculating stage. So you've got one section here, this bit which comes around here, up, across, down, spins, goes back down, and then through here, up, across, up, around, and down. So this bit, the air is going all around, flinging all the dust. The dust is getting flung everywhere, hopefully into the centre stack. So that centre bit that runs all the way down through is the third stage of the vortex. It's this bit here, okay? So it's meant to come out, sorry, the dust is meant to be spun out of this little hole here, and that's what goes into the centre section of the collection bin. And then the air exits out the top, up here. So this bit is where you would have the front of the cleaner would be here, there'd be a filter here, and your supposedly clean air would exit at this point, run down the front of the machine into the motor, through the exhaust filter and back out into the air. So that is apparently what's happening. And it's quite interesting that this is a continuous flow, and you can see it. You can see how it actually should work. Whether or not it does actually do that, I would not like to lay money on it, because it looks to me like they are two separate cyclonic chambers, if you like. You can see here you've got a high-speed spin and a curve, and here as well you've got a high-speed spin and a curve. So this one is running this way, this one runs this way. So you've effectively got like two separate, that's not easy to do, vortexes spinning at the same time. And then, as I say, it goes into the third vortex, which is the central stack, and then it all comes out down the bottom. It's a clever idea, I will give them that. Whether or not it actually worked, not entirely sure. I don't think it does. I've taken apart many of these cleaners, and the filth and the dust that's in the motors, oh my good lord. I mean, the motors look like that. That's what the flipping motors look like, because all the dust just goes through it. It doesn't catch anything. It just all goes through, and it all ends up getting stuck in the motor, and then the motor burns out, and it's just an absolute nightmare. It's just awful. But I will say, from a design point of view, it's quite an attractive thing. I don't know if that's just me being weird, but you know, it's like modern art, really. It's like a sculpture. Now, interestingly, when Hoover got sued by Dyson and Dyson won, Hoover had to stop making this cleaner. But of course, Hoover being Hoover, they didn't stop making the cleaner. They stopped making this. This is what they got rid of. So there's only a limited number of these Cyclone units out there, because what they did was, because they're you know, you've got to give Hoover their due sometimes. They make rubbish, but they're quite clever. They took this out of the vacuum cleaner. So this is like the whirlwind machines and the hurricane machines, and in its place they put a single Cyclone unit. And that's the key difference, because it was a single Cyclone unit not multi-stage, which is what Dyson's issue was. And you can understand why Dyson had a massive issue, because this is a copy. It's a cyclonic system that infringes on many patents. So with a single cyclone unit, it was fine, because, you know, it didn't infringe on Dyson's patents. So what you had is, imagine that you chop this bit off here. This bit's gone, yeah? So you've got this section here with the air channel running up here to the filter and then back down. And you had, where this one has a shroud, you have I think it was a pleated filter. So within this shroud was a pleated filter. So what happened was the dirt would come in around here, do one cyclonic spin, and then the air would go through the filter and then up and out. And that's how they got around it. Very clever. Well done, Hoover. And in many ways, those cleaners were actually better. Because when we come to the video of actually looking at the two Vortex machines, the V2000 and the V2001, I'm going to show you the fact that there's virtually no suction on the machines that use this system. They strangle the airflow in an unbelievable way, because this is so complex and there's such a long distance for the air to move. I'm not going to go into that now, but yeah, that is quite an interesting part of it. So there we go. There's an overview of the Hoover triple vortex system in all its amazing glory. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed that video of the Hoover triple vortex system. It took me 3 attempts to film the talk through of this flipping thing. The first time I got completely confused and muddled up. The second time I almost got it right. The third time I talked it through after reading the book. So, top tip for you, if you're going to try and talk about something, try and learn what it is first before you start recording yourself, because now I look like a complete idiot. You won't see it. I'm not showing you that, but yeah, you'll see the video where I sort of know what I'm talking about because I've done my homework. Always a top tip, do your homework. So that's it for now. Yeah, this is a really interesting piece of vacuum cleaner history. It's fascinating. It's really clever what Hoover tried to do with this. Unfortunately, they fell foul of Dyson and their legal team, and I totally get why Dyson sued them, because they infringed on, you know, their legal patents. James Dyson put a lot of work and a lot of effort into building his company and building his vacuum cleaners and perfecting, I'm going to put perfecting the dual cyclone system in quote marks there. But yeah, but for another company to come along and just so blatantly copy it, and you can tell that Hoover copied it. There's no way that this is, they say it's their own work. They say it came from the oil industry. Very dubious. Very, very dubious. I think they chanced their arm. That's what Hoover did. They tried to get around it by saying it was a triple cyclone system. Is it really? Is it really a triple system? I'm not convinced. It's more of a dual system. This recirculating air nonsense that's going on here, I just don't buy it. But anyway, that's quite enough of me waffling on about this nonsense. Thank you ever so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next couple of videos where we're going to look at the Hoover Vortex vacuum cleaners themselves, have a chat about them, talk them through. We're going to have a look at their strengths and many weaknesses, and there ain't many strengths. So yeah, until then, I'll see you soon. don't forget to comment, subscribe, like, all the usual stuff. Really helps me out. So yeah, that's it for now. I'm going to shut up and leave you be. Take care. Bye.